Welcome to Bahal Recap. Today's movie is Dosen Ghaib, 2024. An Indonesian horror film where a group of students, stuck in a mysterious after-hours class, uncover that their terrifying lecturer isn't just strict, he's a vengeful spirit haunting the campus. Let's dive into this chilling tale. The students suddenly realized the man before them wasn't alive. Just minutes earlier, they learned their teacher had died in a car accident that afternoon. So who was this man at the podium? Mingar pulled out a small mirror, horrified to see the teacher cast no shadow. They instantly knew this was a ghost. The teacher slowly turned his head to stare down at them, who trembled in fear, too scared to speak. Suddenly, the classroom lights flickered. In that moment, Maya caught a glimpse of the teacher's true face and bolted out of the room, terrified. The others, too scared to move far, packed their bags, ready to leave. But just as they reached the door, the teacher called out. Seeing no response, Mingar turned, only to find the teacher gone. A heavy pressure fell on them. Slowly, Xiaomei raised his head and saw the teacher floating above the ground. This place was no longer safe. They fled as the teacher's shouts echoed behind. They didn't know this was their worst mistake. Maya got to the school gate first, telling the guard what happened. The others soon followed, scared and trembling. The guard dismissed their ghost stories, saying Mr. Bakar's body was at home. At the vigil room, a crowd had gathered. They learned Mr. Bakar died picking up his daughter's toy. His daughter Nisa had committed suicide 3 years before, rumors said due to his harshness. Since then, Baker's style became severer, feared by students. Years ago, he'd injured his leg saving Nisa, now walking with a cane. The creaking cane echoed through halls, unnerving students. Maya and her friends never passed his psychology class, a first in his career. Bakar called them for makeup classes every evening. Tragically, on the first makeup day, Bakar died. As seen earlier, his restless spirit haunted the school, causing chaos. The principal, Gita, urged them to focus on studies, not fear Bakar's ghost. But that night, Gita herself saw Bakar's corpse at the dining table. In panic, she knocked over a bookshelf and was knocked out. But she wasn't the only one haunted. That day, Maya saw Bakar's ghost again in the school and ran downstairs in terror. Maya slipped down the stairs, the loud crash alarming her friends. On edge and terrified, she gulped down her antidepressants, barely holding herself together. Pressure from home and recent events pushed her close to breaking. Suddenly, she heard a familiar cane tap outside her door, but the hallway was empty. The next day at the psychology club's prayer meeting, Maya saw teacher Bakar's cane again. She wondered if they shouldn't have left the classroom that night. If he'd stayed, maybe nothing would have happened. Rumors said Nisa took her life after harsh punishment from Bakar for unfinished homework. Later, Xiaomei researched Nisa's tragic past, realizing her suicide might be tied to Bakar's guilt. Meanwhile, strange things started in Mingar and Fatah's rooms. Mingar stared blankly. Then the door slammed shut mysteriously. Mingar disappeared without a trace. Suddenly, a terrifying shadow appeared on the screen. In Mill's room, books suddenly flew at him, chaos erupting. He quickly grabbed his phone from the floor. Maya's situation was even more dangerous. She ran frantically through the dorm, but no matter how fast she ran, she couldn't shake Mr. Bakar. He was always right there, lingering nearby like a shadow. Poor Maya was the first victim, dying just like Nisa. Tearfully, Xiaomei said goodbye. Entering Maya's room, the medicine revealed she hid her pain behind a cheerful face. Maya's drawing of a cane convinced them this wasn't a hallucination. Xiaomei believed Maya wouldn't kill herself. The key was Mr. Bakar. They snuck into his home and found his diary, filled with regrets and love for Nisa, plus her teddy bear. Suddenly, behind Fatah, a woman's shadow appeared, eerily like Xiaomei but with a chilling voice. A cold shiver ran through them as Fatah cautiously stepped forward. When Fatah ran out, Zhengqiao met the psychology club president and learned that the guitar teacher's husband had PTSD and stopped his meds days before dying. Bakar's death might have triggered his condition. Maya felt huge pressure from her parents and denied their accident was linked to Bakar. But Xiaomei wasn't convinced. They decided to return to that classroom where the extra lesson was held, hoping to uncover the truth. Nervously, they sat at their desks as lights flickered. The sound of Bakar's cane echoed from the hall, and his shadow appeared outside the window. Then, chillingly, they heard the cane inside but couldn't see him. A piece of chalk floated up and wrote on the board, "Behavior correction." Starting with Minger, Bakar began calling names. Minger trembled violently, hardly daring to look up, staring straight ahead. Fatah burst out of the classroom, overwhelmed. Xiaomei received a text from Mr. Bakar's neighbor, saying his mother was his only family left, their last lead. After class, Ma hurried to Mr. Bakar's mother's house. Since his daughter Nisa died, Mr. Bakar blamed himself, letting others say Nisa took her life due to his harsh discipline. Xiaomei was confused. Wasn't Nisa's death caused by Mr. Bakar? His mother revealed the truth. The night Nisa was scolded, she stood on the balcony eating when an electrical fault caused her to fall. That tragic accident haunted them. Since then, Mr. Baker stopped defending himself and threw himself into teaching. Meanwhile, trapped in a classroom, frantic Fatah saw Mr. Baker's image appear on the blackboard. After escaping the classroom, Fatah ran wildly, with Mr. Bakar relentlessly chasing behind him. Suddenly, a huge monster appeared out of nowhere. No matter where he ran, the creature relentlessly clung to him. When Xiaomei and Mir returned to school, Fatah was suspended by an invisible force. His hallucination made him feel like he was falling from a snowy tower. Only when Xiaomei rescued him did he regain consciousness. Mir was near despair, facing terrifying, painfully real challenges. Mr. Bakar wasn't just a strict teacher. He had a twisted ambition. Because they broke rules twice by leaving class, he wouldn't let them go. Suddenly, Mr. Bakar appeared, confronting Mir with fierce attacks. But to Xiaomei, this was just Mir's collapsing hallucination. Mir kept hurting himself and even pushed Xiaomei away. Fatah wasn't spared either. Xiaomei quickly opened her bag but found the toy bear missing. She tried to wake Mr. Bakar by showing him his daughter's toy, saying Nisa's death wasn't his fault. Still, Mr. Bakar lifted Xiaomei high. Under hallucination, Fatah mistook Mir for Mr. Bakar and they fought. Xiaomei tried to step forward, but Mir threw her hard, sending her flying onto shattered glass that pierced her thigh. The next moment, Mr. Bakar stepped out, and nearby Xiaomei spotted a toy bear, a lifetime keepsake. She struggled to crawl over to it. At that moment, Xiaomei saw things from Mr. Bakar's perspective. She knew deep down he wasn't evil. He just wanted the best for his daughter. And to the students, he was the same way. Xiaomei was one of the few students he actually liked, even offering her his daughter's toy bear, because in her, he saw his daughter's reflection again and again. Unsure if his choices were right, maybe feeling guilt or regret, Mr. Bakar finally lowered his raised cane and looked at the bear Xiaomei held, the very one he once wanted to give but never did. His ghost then faded away, replaced by a rare smile. In this moment, Mr. Bakar found peace with himself, letting go of the chains that had haunted him for years. Holding his daughter's hand, he disappeared into the heavenly light. With teacher Jita's help, the three passed their psychology re-exam. Though Mr. Bakar's extreme dedication had made him a murderer in his students' eyes, Xiaomei resolutely became a psychology teacher herself, just like him, committed to education without tears or thanks, only a clear conscience.